Now up there in the roof, there's the chimney for my little wood stove inside. And like I said, it was all done properly. My brother and I did it. Proper double wall chimney piping for heat insulation, etc. And it's actually only a 3-inch flue. So you need to clean it fairly regularly. I clean that about every 2 weeks. I have a chimney brush. I go up there with an electric drill and attach it to a chimney brush on a flexible rod and clean out the chimney. And when you're traveling, of course, you can't be driving down the road with a chimney like that sticking up in the air. So the chimney is detachable, and then there's a little chrome travel cap that clamps over the top over the hole after it comes through the roof. There was a 9-inch hole cut in the roof of this motor coach to allow for that chimney installation. It was a little tense cutting a 9-inch hole in the roof of your motorhome, but it worked out well in the end. So here's a little wood stove I told you about. It's made by the Cubic company, C-U-B-I-C, out of Quebec, Canada. This model of their stove is called the Grizzly. It's the Cubic Grizzly. And I just can't say enough good things about this little stove. It keeps this whole 40-foot motor coach warm in an Alberta winter down to about 8 below, 10 below Celsius, somewhere in there. It does have a small firebox, so this whole stove is only 13 inches by 13 inches. So you don't have enough burn time on for it to be able to burn all night, and on its own it just won't. But as long as I'm awake, and it was winter, it was winter in Alberta, man. That thing was burning all day long, every day, all through the winter, and because I wasn't working anymore, and it saved me a lot of money in heating bills. This here, of course, is just an add-on removable little fan, and it works on the heat generation from the wood stove itself. We'll get this fan spinning really fast, and it pushes the hot air out away from the corner. What used to be here is a fancy bar, right? Remember I said this was a fancy motor coach? Well, there was a big bar cabinet here with custom lighting, and you could have your wine glasses in there or whatever. Oh, I don't need any of that stuff. And because it's positioned halfway down the coach, it was the perfect spot to have a little wood stove. And I said to my brother Scott, I said, hey, I got an idea. Let's rip out that bar and make a place for one of these little miniature wood stoves in there. And that's what we did. All that wood up there, Scott and I we custom made that ourselves as well. Down below here in that cavity there, my brother did most of the work. That little hole there is where there was an ice maker. Well, I didn't need an ice maker either, so we ripped that out of there, and now that's where the wood bin goes. And when I'm driving and traveling, well, then that wood stove disconnects and rides down there in that little opening down there, which works perfect. Now, there's the porta potty. I almost forgot. Right there is the control panel for the diesel heater, right? And while we're up here, that little control panel there, that Magnum automatic generator start. So in the wintertime when I was still working, and it was, I'm leaving my motor coach in the morning and go to work in the winter, and it's like 25 below zero, and even though I was hooked into power, what if there was a power failure? I didn't want to freeze this coach. So that little generator start module monitors the battery level, and as soon as it was you could set it to where you wanted it to turn on, and if the batteries got below 12 volts, then it would automatically prime and then start that big Kubota diesel generator in the front of the coach that I showed you. And then you can set how long you want the diesel generator to run after it starts, and you could set it for like 1, 2, or 3 hours or whatever. And then it'll shut down, and then it'll keep monitoring the batteries. And if the batteries are still not, if I've still got no electrical power while I'm still at work, and the batteries get low again, it'll start the generator again. It'll keep this coach all electrified, all on its own, and so that you wouldn't freeze up in the middle of winter. Okay. There's the heater outlet for the what I call the Chinese diesel heater. You can see it coming out. See, I said there's a cavity under the stove. Now normally there's another piece of oak that covers that cavity up, but we haven't got the hole for the heat outlet made into that piece of oak yet, so it's not completely finished. But that's where the hot air from the diesel heater comes out, and man, I just can't say enough about that either. It just pumps out a ton of heat, and with a pretty good force, and it'll warm up this whole coach. And as far as fuel efficiency goes, they're pretty fuel efficient. It runs at different speeds. If it was running full speed, doing maximum heat in a 24-hour period, I know I had it figured out with the old fuel prices that it would cost something like $5 or $6 a day. But you're not going to run it full blast 24 hours, really. And as it cuts down, then it, of course, uses less fuel. It really doesn't use that much diesel fuel. In the morning, when I wake up in the morning and it's cold in this coach, even this morning, for example, it was only about 50 Fahrenheit in this coach. And I jumped out of bed, and instead of monkeying around to light up my little wood stove, I just quickly turned on the diesel heater. I went and jumped back into bed and slept in for another hour while the little diesel heater warmed up this motorhome. All right, man, do we have it covered? Let's see. In a few days here, we're going to be checking those game cameras that are set out. There's 5 game cameras set up out there, but I don't go check game cameras every day or two. I got to leave them out there at least a week, and I think we put them out last Friday. So I'm planning on Friday to perhaps go out and swap out those SD cards and see what we got. All right. Okay. Thank you.